All right, everybody, welcome to episode number seven or eight. It's episode 7 or 8 of the Checked In podcast. This episode, whichever of the two it is sponsored by Popl, your digital business card. Professionals put Popl on their phones and keys to instantly share contact info with everyone they meet. The best part, the other person doesn't need a Popl or even an app to receive your information. Buy yours now at www.popl.co. That's www.popl.co. And use code CHECKEDIN at checkout to get 20% off your order and help out the podcast. Zach was doing some research today, shot me over a text talking about, the Freemasons and all of that. Hot topic. We're talking about the hottest topics.
Hot, baby.
So, Zach, what'd you find?
I found a former Master Mason talking about So there's levels to this shit. But basically I found a excerpt from a interview from a former Master Mason, and he was kind of just spilling the beans on the basics of what true masonry is.
Yeah, so I was going to say, before we get into anything, what the fuck is a mason? What is, because to me, a mason's someone who, works with cement and rock. So what is an actual mason for the people that don't know?
It's funny that you said cement and rock, but I won't get into that yet. But basically, a mason is not a sculptor of stones. It is a cult group, a brotherhood, a
fraternity.
If you will. One of those three. I don't even know which one it truly is. All the above, right? But basically, it's just like a group of people. They are international and national. And they pull you in with this thing called to make you a better man, blah blah blah.
So they're preaching to get you in. They're preaching that they're gonna make you a better man. Then comes the dirty shit.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark outside, but there's torches. There's torches everywhere.
There actually is torches everywhere.
But to start off, I want to say that it's funny because my grandfather he's actually a Master Mason. My mother's biological father. I have a step grandfather that raised my mother and that raised us as a grandfather. But I've met him a few times. He's kind of wacky, and he told me I have to be a Mason, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't.
No,
but he's got a bunch of crazy books and pictures in his house of they're really old stained glass windows, pictures of these weird ass far-fetched crazy art pieces of artwork that have mad religious things in them, and it's weird. But I was never really close to him, so I never really understood what those were. But I kind of have a feeling of what they are now. But it's just weird.
So what was on them? Was it Satan, or was it angels?
It was more angels and demons and God, and it's just weird. It's stuff you would and you wouldn't see in a church, in a stained glass church.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds kind of crazy.
I've only been over his house a handful of times, so I can't really pull what they exactly were. But I can
Is he in the States or is he?
He's in the States. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a Master Mason, but my mom claims that's why he's crazy now. Cause
that makes sense. After doing some research into the Freemasonry,
when you talk to him, his mind is he talks about so much at once, and he just sounds crazy, but it makes sense. But it's just so all over the place. It's so we kind of don't
Don't associate with him.
Yeah, we gotta just like
kind of exiled grandpa.
Yeah, we might hear like something about him, or he'll like try to call my mom from year to year or whatever. But yeah, we don't really know him like that.
So how high up from the bottom? Because I didn't really look too much into the levels of it.
Yeah,
and I know there's levels to it. How high up is a Master Mason?
Which is why they say there's levels to this shit. But
oh damn.
Yeah, but there's
Illuminati.
33. There's 33 degrees of Mason, but there's like a little bit more after that. But that's the basics really. Like there's 33 degrees of Mason. Like when you enter in, you're pretty much like just like a pledge. You know, you're like on the first level, and they kind of make everything sound sweet and like, you know, chill about everything, and like they're just trying to be better members of the community, better people, whatever, blah blah blah. And then when you get to like Master Mason level, which is 30th through the 33rd, you basically get exposed to everything above you.
Wait, so he was at the top, damn near.
Yeah, I don't know which one, but he told me he was a Master Mason. He always wore his ring. He always used to tell me like, this ring will keep you out of trouble. You'll never have to want or need for anything, and you will always be taken care of for the rest of your life until you die. And that's why he was like, that's why you need to be a Mason, blah blah blah. That's what my grandfather used to say. And I don't know, he was a Master Mason. I don't know how high up, which 31, 32, 33 level it was, but he was like, you know, he was.
That's
up
crazy
there.
Security.
Yeah, he was up there.
I saw a video of a dude who had a. Because the video that you sent me was an ex-cop, right? He was like
a jail cop.
Yeah.
And he was in I think a juvenile facility, and he was like like a jail cop and stuff like that.
I saw a video of this dude who's like kind of like you. His grandfather was in the Freemasons, so he had a wallet with the Freemason logo on it, which I'm sure everybody has seen. It's like the triangle down, triangle up, and then
like the G in the middle.
Yeah. So he had that on his wallet. So when the cop came to the window, license, registration, he pulls out his wallet. Cop sees the Freemason thing, and he said, the cop said like, explain it to me, or like, are you interested, or something like that, something like Freemason code. And the guy just looked at him like, huh? And then the cop's like, oh no, I saw your wallet, and he's like, oh no, it's from my grandfather. And then the guy called his grandfather and gave it to the cop. Cop walks away from the car and talks to his grandfather for a little bit, comes back to the car and hands him his license, hands him his phone, and goes, you're free to go. Have a good day, sir.
Wow.
Because, like the video that you sent me, I guess cops are heavy in the Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Which I don't really understand why, but it seems to be like a theme with all of them.
Yeah, I can tell you why, and that's the whole point of the brotherhood thing, like the boys in blue and all that stuff. Like the cops look at their own, you know, being a cop as a fraternity, and you know their whole thing is, you know, the whole structure of the Masons is like the cops are in on it, the police, which is under the executive branch, and the military is under the executive branch and all that stuff, and the presidents are all Masons, and it's funny, it's not a coincidence, but they are all Masons.
100%.
And it's just kind of funny because like when you have that ring on, it's like you kind of just have like, you just get slapped on the wrist with everything because they can't go against that brotherhood code. So like that's why he was able to walk away. But the cops are literally part of, you know, the foot soldier and as far as the foot soldiers of, you know, the Masons and stuff like that.
So they're the ones like on the ground, like spreading the word, doing whatever.
Well, I mean, they're not spreading the word, but they're operating how they should, and they allow certain events and certain things to, you know, go on instead of like reporting and doing what a cop should do justly. They kind of go against the justice system, and they are the ones that pretty much like allow whatever the world wants to happen happens in that world of that brotherhood. So it's like, you know, it's
So they're
kind of
not
like
following laws; they're following like
they're
Freemason
following
laws.
code, yeah. And it's kind of funny because it's kind of like the mafia, like they buy out, you know, whoever, you know, politicians, this, you know, that person, this, you know, they buy out police officers to become dirty cops and this and that. So like, it's just kind of funny, like how the Masons like operate like that too, in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And back to your what you were saying about like presidents and shit that are in the Freemasons. I was looking up the Bohemian Grove, which is that's the every July basically the most prominent businessmen, politicians, world leaders, whatever, they go to the Bohemian Grove, which is a campground in California, to quote unquote get away from business and enjoy nature, right?
Yeah.
There's a photo from 1967 of a table of like men sitting there talking at the Bohemian Grove. Two people that were depicted in this in 1967 was Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
This was 1967. Then, in 1969, Richard Nixon became president.
Yeah.
And then Ronald Reagan soon after.
Yeah.
So, basically, anybody who's moving up, going to be in a position of power is here. I mean...
Yeah, they all go through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bohemian Grove.
And there's a bunch of like the Bushes, for example. The video from Alex Jones of the Bohemian Grove ceremony, actually at that ceremony, George Bush and his son were both in the ceremony.
Yeah.
And real quick on the video is of the ceremony known as the Cremation of Care, which is taken by Alex Jones and a hidden cameraman. And it shows these men around a fire dressed in large red robes, except for the high priest, which he's dressed in lighter colors. The attire, though, looks identical, and I mean identical, to the Pope.
Yeah.
Which you were telling me the Pope is actually somehow part of.
Yeah, they're affiliated with so we'll get into this later, but there's like that pyramid on the back of the dollars actually represents a pyramid of the power structure, and the Masonic power or whatever, the Masonic rankings only go up to around, I think, level 5, and the rest of it's like the other whatever 8 levels, or however many 9 levels it would be or something. I don't know. I'm bad at math right now. But correct me in the comments. 13 minus 5. But yeah, it's so the Pope, the white robe Pope and the black Pope are supposed to be like the good and bad balance of,
like yin and yang.
Yeah, like yin and yang of the world. And it's like they are what keeps the check and balance of good and bad. So
and they're in on the whole Masonic.
Yeah, they're in on the whole thing, but they can't participate with the rituals, but they are allowed to be there and watch, and they know what's going on.
That's crazy though, because isn't, from what I was looking at, Freemasonry is not directly correlated with satanic ritual or Satanism, but isn't that a big influence on Freemasonry?
Yeah,
and Satan and all of that.
Yeah, so they try to in the lower ranks you probably won't recognize this, but you literally are told like anybody from any background can come, religious, race, or whatever, rich or poor, you can become a Mason. Basically you just got to ask one to be one, and then they petition for it, and they go through the website, go through application. Now they have like an application to a website, and
you can apply. You could just apply.
Yeah, you can
apply like
online.
a job.
Yeah, you can apply online like a job. Yeah. I mean, it's the internet, man. I mean, like, but yeah. So you can get in like that, and basically it's basically how you get in, and they tell you, you know, whatever, you can come from all walks of life, blah blah blah. But like once you become a master mason, they fold everything, you know, unfold everything to you, and basically it actually is really demonic. It actually is, but they still acknowledge God as the end all be all, and that He's more powerful and this and that, but they don't worship Him in that way. So it's funny because a lot of them will pray with you and end their prayer and like in Christ's name or in Jesus Christ's name and this and that. And you'll have all these other people praying, you know, from whatever religion, and they'll all end their like what's
Prayer?
that word? Well, yeah, but it's like what's that word? When you do something over and over again. When you do something over and over again.
Repetition?
No. Well, yeah, that is the definition, but
I'm killing it right now.
No, it's like a ritual. So they'll do like a prayer ritual, and they'll end it in Christ's name. But I think honestly, in that aspect, they're just trying to like really just like clown God in that way. So like they will end it in Christ's name, knowing that, you know, whatever. But I also think it's another way to get more people, because Christianity's, I think, like the number one most popular, or maybe Islam. One of those two are like the top two popular religions. So
Right.
they end everything in that way, and it's just like a tradition to do it, not more, no more so, or more or less than that they actually believe in one God or whatever. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to be like for everybody.
Right.
And that's the whole goal of the Masons and everything above them, is to have one world order, one world religion, one world currency, and that's that. Which, to think about it, like, I think that's why Elon Musk is like so adamant about all these different cryptocurrencies, and like he's super rich, and he's
Who? Oh, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like
He's a Freemason.
He's he's definitely a Freemason. Or he could be above that, you know, above that part of the pyramid or whatever. But
I mean, he's got power. He's got power, so
yeah,
he definitely could be.
Yeah. So he owns mad shit. Like he has too much. Yeah, like he can lose Tesla today and still be rich as fuck.
Oh yeah,
all
absolutely.
All his other investments and all his other businesses that he owns. But yeah, I think that's why they're using him right now as like a person that's trying to get everybody into crypto. Even though crypto's based off the US dollar, but the US dollar is based off the Federal Reserve, which is based off of nothing. Which is funny because the whole world, they all go through the Federal Reserve System, all the, you know, whatever. So it's just funny because that's like literally how it breaks down. Is that's their goal. Their end game is to make everything one religion, one currency, and one world order. And that's like what's on the new world order is on the bottom of your pyramid on the dollar. So yeah, and that's like their goal, is to get everybody in, because they want everybody from everybody from all walks of life and all walks of, you know, religion, belief systems, whatever races, whatever are ethnicities, and they're trying to make everything unified into one thing, because that's their goal for the end game.
And that's part of that new world order that they're talking about. Mm-hmm. Everybody just being cohesive in one, whatever it is, whether it's one religion or one currency. It
sounds peaceful, but it's like
the way they're going about it, a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the video real fast, which, by the way, definitely recommend watching the video. If you YouTube Alex Jones, Bohemian Grove, Alex Jones, Freemason, Illuminati, whatever, you could watch this video. And it's from 2000. But the stuff that they're doing in this video are very, like, old school. Like, it gives me, like, 1920s, 1910, 1900 vibes. It's real weird.
Oh, yeah.
But in the video, they reference a bunch of occultic sayings, and you can see the high priest, which is that guy that I was saying was dressed like the Pope. He actually motions with his hand, like there's a boat in the water coming to where this what would it be?
Sure.
No, it's like where the ceremony is being held.
Yeah.
There's a boat coming, and he motions with his hand as if he's like bringing the body to him. Because on this boat, where this man is dressed in basically all black, and on his head is a human skull, and he motions with his hand to bring the sacrificed soul to him. And then at the end of the video, because throughout the video they take because this sacrifice is in a coffin, they bring the coffin underneath the owl, which I was talking to Zach. You said that the owl correlates with
so it
Satan?
correlates with Satan, and it also correlates with the Mason symbol, because the eyes, the eyes go up to a O. Like if you look at Drake's OVO, it's like a parody of like the actual symbol.
Drake's Illuminati.
There's a lot of like, so the owl goes like, the owl's beak points up, and there's the two circles for the eyes, and then
and that's what the Freemason symbol is.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this video, so yeah, there's the owl, and there's a bunch of guys in robes and everything, and they light a fire with what they call the eternal flame. They said you can't just light a regular flame. It needs to be the eternal flame. And they bring over this torch. They're all holding torches. They bring over this one torch, though, and this one torch is supposedly the eternal flame. They light this coffin on fire, and everybody's clapping and cheering and this and that. But when everything kind of dies down, sound-wise, when everyone's kind of like done celebrating and clapping, you actually can hear the sacrifice, which they claim the sacrifice was nothing. It was just an empty coffin, and they say that the coffin had their cares in it because they go to this campground to get away from business and this and that. You can actually hear screams. And I was watching it, and I was like, when I watched it, I was like, there's no way this is what I'm hearing. I play it again for Zach, and Zach goes, is that screams that I'm hearing in the background? 100% you can hear screams. And it's not part of any of this ceremony. There's no like audio being played extra for this. Like, you can literally hear screams. And then there's pyro, like fireworks going off out of miniature crosses. So the whole thing just screams satanic cult through and through in this video. It's probably like a 15-minute video. I definitely recommend watching it. Alex Jones even subtitles it, so you can hear it. It's a little grainy, but you can hear it all, and then he puts subtitles on it, and it's just, all in all, a completely fucked up video. Highly recommend watching it, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just goes back to what you were saying, how all the highest powers are part of this. They all go to this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just wild to me that this is kept so well under wraps.
Yeah, this is where the next pope is decided. This is where the next president is decided. The next, person and the prime minister of whatever next country is. This is where all like the world leaders are decided. This is an international, national, whatever you want to call it, event. It's just all universal. That's the whole thing about the Masons. They're not just to America. They're international. Well, they claim to be a universal brotherhood, and that's what they're trying to do. Have everything be universal. So
you guys thought you were voting for the president. You're not.
Yeah. So the presidents, all the presidents are decided there. Like, that's where they go. There is no electoral college that validates which state has power in the voting. No, this is all. It's all. The whole political race is a whole bunch of bullshit. That's why they only really, go so hard in like the last stretch from that last year of the fourth year of the president. The fourth year. The last year that the president is around. For his term, whatever his first term. That's when they start going hard, because they already know, like, halfway through, like Biden's president right now, halfway through his presidency, they're already going to know who the next president is going to be, and the political race is a joke, and then the person that loses acts all surprised, like, how did I lose, blah, 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 blah. But dude, they're not. You know, they already know who's gonna win. They know if they're getting reelected. Like,
So the
that's
only
why I
question
think it was.
got,
I think it was funny. Hold on one second. I think it was just funny when Obama cried. In that and it was like a speech in Ohio or it might have been in Illinois. I think it was in Chicago or Ohio when he was giving his like last speech of his campaign and he was like, please, and then his tear fell from his eye. Like, I think it was just corny because it's like he knew he was going to be reelected. Like he knew it.
Exactly.
Like he knew it.
Pretending like he didn't know the whole time.
He knew he was getting reelected.
But the Freemasons is strictly men.
Yeah, well, there's an Eastern Shrine. It's still governed by men, so like men are still over that. But there are a small sect of Masons that are women. They're validated by all the Masons in the world. But yeah, predominantly men. Like that's like 1% of. So like one lodge out of trillions of lodges or whatever.
A big thing that I've been hearing from Trump supporters, Biden, whatever.
Yeah.
They've been saying Biden's basically incompetent, which, to be fair, dude's about a million. Like, he's like 100-something years old.
Yeah, they're all figureheads, man.
100%.
Yeah, they all get told which way to move their neck, which way to move their
I mean, if you look at a Biden interview or like a press conference or whatever, he can't go off script to save his life. Like he couldn't improv it. Like when he actually goes off a script, like when he was doing his like presidential race or whatever, and he was doing interviews and press conferences in different states. Yeah. There was one video that I will literally never forget where they asked him something about the climate or something. Yeah. And he goes into a tangent about his leg hair, bro.
Hey, yo, and literally, he's the only president that's not well-spoken. Like, probably not the only one, but he's one of the major ones that's not well-spoken. And if he goes off script, he stutters a lot. He says, like, he says stupid shit. Fumbles for words, and he just doesn't say anything that makes sense. And then he kind of pieces it together and wings it at the end. And, like...
Dude, in this video of Biden talking... He talks about kids touching his leg hair in the pool that turns blonde in the sun in the summertime and then transitions to cockroaches. Now,
what does that have to do with
how's your brain even do that, bro? Like you couldn't ask me about climate and me get into cockroaches for at least, like, it's got to be 15 minutes of me talking to get from climate to cockroaches. Yeah. This dude did it in 2 minutes. I give him all the props in the world.
He's like, well, it reminds me of when I was in the pool and the sun hit my leg hair weird and the child brushed up against my shin bone and my hair, I noticed I was being an old man and kind of reminded me of how cockroaches can survive even a nuclear explosion.
Did you watch the video?
No. Is that literally how it went?
That's so bad that you were joking, and that's literally like damn near word for word what he said. I'm so mad that you literally never watched it, and it sounds exactly like how he sounds too. You hit it on the head.
The climate is it's not a problem in America. Problem in America is these policies and things we need to put in place in my first 100 days. I vow to do this, and this.
For you guys not watching the podcast but listening to Spotify, the podcast app, Apple Music, whatever, just so you know, we did not just play a Joe Biden clip. That was Zach.
Yeah, that was me.
Off the cuff. Never even watched the video. That's wild.
It's just me watching Joe Biden speaking and just kind of improving what it might have sounded like.
And you hit the nail on the head. Congratulations.
Yeah, I should get an Emmy for this.
You deserve an Emmy for that.
Yeah, give me a Golden Globe, an Oscar, and an Emmy.
Dude,
and,
first of all, fucking crazy that you actually hit that. But anyway, back to the Freemasons before we go on another half hour on Joe Biden, which we can.
Yeah, we could.
We'd end up getting to cockroaches eventually, but it probably would take a little bit. Another thing that I was seeing is the Denver airport. So you're familiar with the Denver airport, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the Denver airport is supposedly known as the hub for the Illuminati, the Freemasons, whatever. If you go into the Denver airport, you're seeing the eye everywhere. You're seeing the Freemason symbol everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You got the blue horse outside.
Swastikas.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. Didn't know that.
It's
you see swastikas, I guess, too.
Shaped like a swastika.
The airport?
Yeah.
God
From Google
damn.
Images. If you look at it from Google Images, it kind of looks like the...
Speaking of Google Images, Google Maps or whatever, completely off topic of the Denver airport right now. But I saw, too, that Washington, D.C., the road system is actually shaped like the Freemason logo. It's the only, and I mean only city or town or whatever it is.
District.
The only district in the United States that the roadways are made that way. Like every other city in the country is built on just blocks, like squares, right? Only time it ever like goes off of a block square pattern is to avoid something. So say there's like a water, like a water system, like a pond or a river, then it's going to go around it, right? Yeah. In Washington, D.C., you actually have the two streets going like that. Or no, I'm sorry, the two streets going like that to two circles. And then two more going in to one circle, two circles. Oh, wow. And that's like, there's like block. Road, circle. Yeah. And it's for no reason at all. At all.
Yeah, they were like, the nation's capital is in Philadelphia. You know what? This just doesn't look right. Let's just let's change it. Let's move it down to like Virginia and then not call it Virginia, and then we're just gonna make it look like a Mason's
we'll still call it Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we'll still call it Pennsylvania Avenue. And we'll throw the whole world off. But it's okay.
But yeah, back to the Denver airport and the supposed swastika that it's built like. You're familiar. You saw the pictures of the horse in the front, right?
Yeah, the big
Blucifer.
Yeah, Blucifer, right.
Blucifer is the name of this horse. Called the Horse of Death.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, it killed the guy that made it. It fell on him and killed him.
Hence, the Denver Broncos has everything to do with that horse.
100%.
Yeah.
So this horse, for those of you who haven't seen it, which you live under a rock at this point if you haven't seen it. Anyway.
It's a national monument.
Literally, it's more famous than the Statue of Liberty. Probably not. But it's this humongous blue horse with glowing red eyes.
32 feet tall.
32 feet. So this thing's gigantic.
Can't miss it.
But the Denver airport, I was looking up some shit about the Denver airport. So the Denver airport's actually the biggest airport in the U.S.
Second biggest in the world.
Second biggest in the world. Didn't know that. Crazy.
5 stories underneath it.
And we'll get into that. So it's the biggest in the U.S., though. Biggest airport in the U.S. at 54 square miles. The second biggest in the U.S. is the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport at 27 square miles. So half the size, right? Mind you that the Denver airport is the 20th busiest airport in the country, but it's the largest airport in the country. Makes no sense to me. It's also the most expensive. So the Denver airport cost $16 billion to make, which was $2 billion over the budget they gave them. And it also finished 16 months after it was scheduled to be finished.
And this is where your tax dollars have been going to.
100%. So anybody who's wondering where the tax money's going, this shit.
They took money from the stimulus
for that. So 16 months, it ended, they finished it 16 months after it was scheduled to finish, and they spent $2 billion over the budget for this airport, right?
In the 90s, where is this money coming from, bro?
Right, that's where the fiat money comes in. Yeah, it's ghost money.
That's why our inflation rate is so high right now.
100%.
Yeah.
The Denver airport, though, $16 billion to make, which is $2 billion over the budget, right? Dallas airport, which is half the size, was $3 billion to make. So, wow. I don't know how that makes any sense. But the Denver airport was 5 times more expensive to build, but only twice as big.
Yeah.
So just to break it down to be even easier, it was fucking, what was it? Oh, yeah. So the Denver airport cost $3 million per square mile, where the Dallas airport costs $1 million per square mile. Dang. So an extra $2 billion per square mile to build this airport. That's the 20th busiest in the country, but with all this Freemason Illuminati shit all over it.
Dang.
And why was it that expensive, and why did it take that long? Zach, take it away.
Well, basically, they were building this 5-story monstrosity underneath it, which was supposed to be a bunker for all the world powers and elites to hide under in case there was like another world war or whatever, so that they can come out and still continue this plan of the all-seeing eye above the pyramid on the back of your $1 bill. So basically all these people, all the elites are put in the position of elite because they are carrying out the plan of this new world order. And it's funny because the George Bush Sr. was the one that initiated the new world order, and during his presidency, I believe this is when everything was under construction for this. Because he was in the early 90s. It was George Bush Sr. So he was it was under his presidency when all this construction was going on. He approved everything, and it's funny because when some missile was supposed to hit, I guess the White House from outer space, like they launched outer space, it was coming down. Obama was actually in Denver at the time. Ironically, 100% planned. He was there to basically, it didn't actually end up hitting America, obviously, as we know today. It didn't hit America, but it was supposed to. They were able to, have it explode really high up in the air, and it didn't do anything. But yeah, so that's proof right there. And they
he basically went to hide.
Yeah, he went to hide under there. And on their website, I wonder who else that was really rich that was in there. But basically, if you look on their website of the airport, they actually talk about all this stuff, and they have
not even trying to hide it.
Yeah, they're not trying to hide that there are 5 stories under it, and that there is, it's funny because they talk about like aliens on their website and reptilian aliens and all this other funny stuff, and it's like they're all along with it, and it's like, why is this such public information? Because the elites don't want you to really be shocked by it, because they know that they're going to be the only ones that survive. They're like, hey, just so you know, those underground tunnel theories and all that shit is real. It's on our website. Check it out. When all shit hits the fan, you will not survive, and we will. I'll be probably the one bastard that sneaks in and fucking hides in like the elevator shaft while the world's being bombed in this fucking thing.
Imagine, to their surprise, when they go in the elevator to come back up to the post-apocalyptic world,
out the roof of the elevator,
and you're just like sitting there like, we good now?
We good now? Is it safe? Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. I'm just surviving off like fucking airport Twinkies and
dude, that idea would be a phenomenal movie.
Oh hell yeah,
that'd be a phenomenal sneaking into the bunker at the Denver airport during an apocalypse or war or whatever, surviving, sneaking around, and then coming back up with the rest of it.
When the COVID vaccine turns everything into World War Z, and I'm just gonna be in there surviving off Twinkies and shit. I'm gonna be throwing up Twinkies while the president's like walking out into his limo to go back to the White House.
You see some scruffy ass kid coming out of the elevator shaft.
Yeah. I'm gonna have like a beard down to my belly button,
looking like that one movie, Castaway.
Daylight burns my eyes.
I mean, once this vaccine takes effect,
I'll remember to bring shades under there when I come back up.
Walk out with
I'll
shades
vlog
and
everything on my iPhone. I'll be the first YouTube video after the apocalypse.
Damn. You'll probably be an elite. Once that goes down, they'll be like, Well, shit. At this point, he knows everything.
Your
Fuck
survival
it.
tactics have been deemed elite, so we're gonna make you
You're actually gonna be
elite.
head of the military.
Head of the military. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the Pentagon, shipping. I meant the base. Sipping fucking mimosas with the president, kicking shit, you know, with the fucking Secretary of Defense and shit like that. Like, hey, remember when I was in that elevator shaft?
How are we gonna win this war, Zach? I got it.
Back in Denver. Back in Fort Denver.
Fort Denver.
I survived off Twinkies and instant coffee for 5 years.
Disgusting. You'd come out with cancer.
You can't tell me shit about this war, because I've overcome worse shit than this war.
How long do you think until the COVID vaccine just fucks everyone up? I give it a few years.
I give it 20 years.
20 years.
COVID-19, so you got to add one, make it 20.
Yo, one of those addition conspiracies.
The needle that goes in your arm makes it half of one, and then the second dose of the vaccine makes it two. Half of half makes one. Add COVID-19, 20.
You've just been debriefed on the exact way that this shit is going to go down. If you guys fall victim to this, you're just stupid.
2040. And by the way, there's a underneath the horse is a time capsule for 2094. So hopefully I'll be around, like, I'll be in my 90s around that time. So hopefully I'll live to be 100 years old and see what's in this time capsule, or I can just go dig it up myself.
I mean, if you're gonna sneak into the elevator shaft, you might as well.
I might as well dig a Pablo Escobar tunnel.
I want to know
to the time capsule.
I want to know. On a serious note.
Yeah.
On a serious note. How do you plan on doing this? I really want to know.
I don't know. I'd have to get
You're on the spot.
I'd have to get the blueprints to everything. Dig really deep into the.
You don't got blueprints.
Onion.tor.onion. Yeah, I'll go to Black Web it.
He's going on the dark web for this shit.
I'll VPN the fuck out of it. They'll think I'm in, like, fucking South Korea or North Korea or some bullshit.
Oh, so you're going to start a war.
I'm going to start a war so that I can do this.
So Kim Jong-un is now looking up blueprints to the Denver airport, which is associated with the Freemasons. So you're starting a world war. Continue.
Yeah. Then they'll think it's from there, and then the FBI and shit will be knocking down some fucking North Korean's household, and I'll already be moved into Denver by then. I'll have
as soon as the war happens, you're already there.
All the weed I need to eat all those fucking airport Twinkies, and I'll dig with a plastic spoon through cement and limestone to get to the fucking. To get to the time capsule, and I'll debunk everything in the YouTube video, and I'll upload the YouTube video before I die. Hopefully I don't die. Hopefully they'll just accept me into their elite brotherhood, and they'll give me a Purple Heart for being...
I mean, if you dig through cement with a plastic spoon, you deserve a Purple Heart. If you do, like, how the fuck did you get in here? And then you just hold up a disheveled plastic spoon, and you're like, this is how.
This is how, yeah.
And they just go, you're serious? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. What do you mean? Well, I don't have anything else on me.
Yeah.
And they go, this kid, Secretary of Defense, right now, give him a Purple Heart.
I can get through the metal detectors with a plastic spoon.
You can. Now, can you get through cement with the plastic spoon? I don't know, but you definitely can get through a metal detector.
Hey, friction, a little bit of spit, you know.
What? A little bit of what?
A little bit of spit, a little bit of friction.
Okay, this sounds like a foolproof plan. The Freemasons are going to hear this.
Moisture breaks down sediment.
So a mix of your saliva and a plastic spoon is going to disintegrate concrete.
Yes.
And then from there you're going to... So is it time capsule, then elevator, or elevator, then time capsule?
War going on. I'm going to have a lot of time. The last place they're going to hit is Denver. So even if I'm underground in the bunker, I'm straight. You know what I mean? There's 5 stories.
How far down are you going?
However far I need.
I mean, you could go floor 1, floor 5. I'm assuming it's like a
There's
hotel, but
5
upside down, so the
stories?
bottom floor is the best one.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
So
the
you going
bottom
down to
floor.
the 5th floor, or are you
I don't
digging your
know.
way to
I
a
don't
6th
know if
floor?
I'd have like maybe it's like Monsters vs Aliens, where the president has to put his like eye, his fingerprint, and then his ass print to get into the last bunker. But
You don't think you get the president's ass print?
I don't think I can. I mean, it's hard to do nowadays. You know what I mean? I'd probably have to sneak into a bathroom in the White House, put a plastic sheet over the toilet, like that little prank where people sit on the plastic toilet and shit on themselves. So I'll take that from the president's thing, sneak out the ceiling of the bathroom, and then I'll roll it up so it's safe, and I'll have the ass print, and then I'll just press the ass print down.
Now, question for you.
Yeah.
You're going to put a plastic saran wrap?
Trim wrap.
You're going to put saran wrap over the toilet so that the president's ass cheeks are touching the saran wrap.
Yeah.
Let's assume it's Biden, old as shit, probably can't feel anything in his ass anyway anymore, right?
Yeah.
Your saran wrap is now full of piss and shit.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with
now
that?
I have the DNA of the president to
Oh,
get past
wow.
the third and final. The third and final.
So you thought of everything.
Hey.
I'm over here trying to debunk you, and
On
you're
the
like, no, no,
spot.
no, 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 no. They need his shit as well. So
Yeah.
the president puts his ass cheeks on the scanner. The scanner scans his ass cheeks. He then shits into the scanner,
I mean, if he's
and
sitting
you got
on
it all
that
covered.
scanner, is probably enough for him to shit. It's probably long enough to scan his ass to shit. So they've already figured out, hey, there's gonna be some shit and piss on this already. You know, mine might be dried out and fermented, but hey,
Still his DNA.
for America, I'll get it done.
For America.
America. All right, where were we, man?
I don't even know.
All right, so I'll just hop into the 13 levels. So there's 13 levels of that pyramid on the back of your $1 bill. I should have brought my dollar bill in from the car. I forgot it. But basically, so I'll kind of go into like the structure. So there's Blue Lodge, Freemasonry, which is like entry level, like bottom of the barrel.
Bottom bitch.
Bottom bitch, yeah. You're like you're the stupid bitch of the Mason.
Yeah.
So like basically you get in through there. It's where a lot of police officers are. This is where a lot of people are that are just regular day-to-day people. Then there's level 2, which is the York or Scottish rites of Freemasonry. There's 2 separate ways you can go. Then there's the Shriners, which is level 3, and then there's the 33rd Scottish Rite, and then that's level 4, and then level 5 is the Supreme Council, which is also, I believe, the Knights Templar, yeah. And that's like the highest 33rd degree Master Mason, which is the 5th level of this 13 level pyramid. I still can't do the math with all the numbers in front of me. But,
Need a damn calculator for this shit.
So basically, no, my math was right. 13 minus 5 is 8. But basically, the next 8 levels is the Order of the Trapezoid, the Ancient Primitive Rite of Memphis Mizoram, or aka 99 degrees, which is 99 degrees. So this is including the 33 levels of masonry. The 34th degree goes into the night of this, the night of that, the night of this, the night of that, which is the Knights Templar. It goes all the way to 99. But the 33rd degree, which stops at level 5 of the Supreme Council, this is where they can't be a 34th. But then there's the Ordo Templi Orientis. Sorry,
The Oriental Templar.
I don't believe it has to do with Oriental. This is Latin, and it's abbreviated by OTO. Then there's the Paladinian Rite, aka the Taxel Hoax. Then there's level 10, the Illuminati. Level 11, the 9 Unknown Men, aka the Church of Satan. There's a lot of 6s and 9s and 3s in here, which is funny because in our other video, if you look up those frequencies we were talking about, A lot of those frequencies end in 3, 6s, and 9s, which is funny. I'll get to that frequency thing in a bit again to try to chime in on that. But level 11, I already said, is the Church of Satan. Level 12 is the Inner Council of Seven, which is those 7 wealthiest families of the world. So, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Walton, aka the Walmart, and so on and so forth. And then there's the Great Architect of the Universe, which is the GAOTU abbreviation. And then above that is the All-Seeing Eye, which is the left eye of Satan, which technically is controlled by the right brain and the human, which is where I'm about to get into this frequency bullshit, which is why everything is in 440 hertz, is because that stimulates and controls the right brain, aka MK Ultra, which is what they use through these rituals to get you up so high up in this bullshit ass pyramid.
Pyramid scheme.
Yeah, pyramid scheme. So instead of MK Ultra, before MK Ultra they use ritualistic mind manipulation, where they break you down, build you up, break you down, build you up, break you down, build you up, until they build you and form you into one of these robotic Mason brotherhoods to be the foot soldiers, aka the bitches, do whatever I say, of the Mason brotherhood. So that's basically the pyramid on the back of your dollar, 13 levels, which is also outside of the other reason why there's not a 13th floor in any building, because apparently I guess the original, or the reason they want you to believe is, the reason they want you to believe that is because there was some saint that got killed on the Friday the 13th in October, and blah 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 blah. You can go look that up. But the real reason is because they don't want you to think of the 13 levels of the pyramid, so they take the 13th level out of every building, and there's no 13th floor because it's deemed bad luck, when really they just are trying to keep people, out of sight, out of mind about the 13 levels of this pyramid. And then above the pyramid is the all-seeing eye, which is Satan's eye. And I think that's kind of crazy how people always say the Illuminatis and the Masons are against each other when they're really working in the same
hand in hand.
And the Masons do everything the Illuminati says. And to get up to that point, you either have to have a lot of money, or you have to be really deep into, you have to be really old and really deep into this pyramid scheme of the world. But to dip into some of these, like I said, levels 1 through 5 is all like masonry stuff, and then above that, I really just kind of want to touch on the 7 inner councils, which is level 12. This is the elites. This is everybody. Actually, it's kind of like semi above the elites, even though they're considered the elites as well. But the 7 families of the world, I have it right here. I'm gonna tell you who they are. The 7 most powerful families.
We already know 2.
I feel like I'm talking about the mafia.
Damn near, sounds
families,
like it.
But
we already know 2 off the bat. I will.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this. I put money. Rothschild, Rockefeller, guaranteed.
So the Rockefellers are in there. The Morgan family, if you're not familiar with them, J.P. Morgan Chase, that's Shireen Bell's Walton family is Walmart. The Bush family, President Bush, his family, they're all, you notice how they're all politicians, are all in, controlling some area of the world. They run shit. The Windsor family of the United Kingdom, their reigning royal house in the UK and the British Empire. The royal family of Saudi Arabia, descendants of Mohammed bin Saud. There's the Rothschilds, who are a Jewish business family, who are actually, people claim for them to be anti-Semitic, but we don't know that for sure.
Wait, how? If they're Jewish?
Because technically, in this aspect, they believe in the devil and the Jews don't. So
damn, inside job.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of Masons will tell you, Master Masons will tell you that the devil dwells in the Rothschilds' home, and that's why the Rothschilds never leave. They do everything from their house. They have the most amazing internet connection in the world.
Wow.
And yeah,
I mean, if you're running the world out of your house, you got
there's
to.
a chair that they never sit in their home that visitors have claimed, like, why doesn't anybody sit at the head of their table? And people are saying it's for Lucifer, it's for the devil. So yeah, so that's who's running everything. There's another conspiracy out there that the Rothschilds choose all the world leaders, which I believe they do, because they're supposed to be at the top of this pyramid. They're part of the seven families, but they are the most powerful of the seven families. They control the central bank, which controls everything in the world, which is money. Mm-hmm. And they are said to believe to be the great architect of the universe. Whoever the leader of their family is said to be the great architect of the universe.
That's deep.
And basically the universe, not meaning like the universe with the planets and stars, but controlling Earth as far as trying to build, mold, and structure the world into the one currency, the one belief system, and the one what is it called?
You got this.
One belief system, one world currency, and
it's like a pop quiz.
Lost it, sir. Sorry. Well, anyways, they're trying to make everything universal. So, which would eventually, in other conspiracies about this conspiracy, some theologists claim for this to be like the opening of the Antichrist, which is kind of semi-biblical. It's like everything will have, like, I believe in the Bible it says everything will be unified under one thing, and the Antichrist will come and claim Israel as its enemy, and this and that, and that's when all the nations will go against Israel, blah 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 blah. And yeah, so that's pretty much that. As far as like that pyramid of everything, and how the Masons are just the bottom of the pyramid, tip of the iceberg. No pun intended. Is that even a pun? I think that's a pun. But yeah, so like thinking about that, that's how the world is structured. If you don't believe it, you need to read it and achieve that understanding.
Damn.
And yeah,
put that on a t-shirt.
On a t-shirt. If you don't believe it, you need to read it and achieve it. But yeah, that's bananas. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. You've officially been checked in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on our podcast. We will have another episode based on this, diving deeper into more things about this group. And if you like what you see, you don't like what you hear, comment in the section below, and we will respond, rebuttal, react, and all that stuff. Don't forget to subscribe and follow our podcast on our streaming pages, which is Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, all that stuff. We got some great content coming for you soon. Stay tuned, and we are checked in.